Welcome to Travel Market Life, Hotelier's Voice series with me, Ryan Haynes, as we speak to hoteliers across the world about the different technologies that they're implementing within their properties to be able to get a head start and keep us in front in the industry. Today, we're going to be speaking to Robert Marusi from Turtle Bay Resort. He's a chief commercial officer, and the Turtle Bay Resort has over 400 rooms on 1,300 acres of land with organic, sustainable farm, spa, golf courses, and beaches. Previously, he's worked with Pelican Hill Resort, which is another 5-star property, and Hampton Beach Resort, a Fairmount Hotel in Bermuda. So quite a collection. And we're going to be looking quite closely at the role of data as he looks to turn around the fortunes and improve the commerciality of the properties. Hi there, Robert. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Ryan. How are you?
All very well. Thank you very much. So you've got a really interesting story. You've been at a couple of different properties over the last few years. Just in the last few weeks, you started at Turtle Bay Resort. So technology is quite a big thing for you, right? When you're looking at the systems and platforms in your properties. Tell us why it's so important, please.
You know, for me, all the data is about what can I do? Where can I market? What market segment do I need to do my marketing in? Rather than throwing out marketing out there and being hopeful that somebody comes back and views my site, it's how do I really get that information at hand? And how do I really market the right segment to drive the revenue and acquire the client asset?
Right. So it really comes down to acquisition, capturing the right guests at the right time with the right promotion, and using that data in the way that you can almost see through the marketplace.
Well, really segregating the data, right? So I understand the persona of my hotel. I have to go out and understand the persona of the buyer so it's a match. Not just hopeful that it's a match and throwing thousands of fish hooks out there. I would rather go after the client that I know wants and travels to my product and can afford my product.
Right. So let's get down to the nitty gritty then about the technology itself. What sort of platforms and systems have you been working with over the last couple of years?
You know, I've been having great results with Amadeus Advanced in the cloud, which is really a great product. Putting all my sales and catering information in the cloud and having better reporting capabilities. Opera Cloud has been doing good as a property management system. In the last several years, certainly Salesforce Cloud has come on, and Salesforce is an amazing, powerful tool. Obviously, the performance of that company has been incredible. And Hotel IQ, which is a business intelligence tool with BI and AI that helps me make decisions, not just subjectively, but data-driven decisions.
Right. Well, let's break those down one by one. I mean, Salesforce, as you say, I rember working with them about, nearly 20 years ago. And they, everyone's like, SaaS? What's SaaS? And suddenly everything's about SaaS and the cloud. And they've obviously had to throw cloud at the end just to make sure people understand that it's a cloud-based system. Now you run your CRM campaigns on this, and why is it such a powerful project for you?
Because it allows me to segregate the data. It allows me to segregate the demographic and the psychographic data that allows me to go after the right customer. And that may be by income. It may be by market segment that's popular to me, by zip code. There's a whole lot of data points that I can pick and go after and slice and dice and segregate and go after for a higher level, a higher percentage of acquisition on the client. That's the key.
And does that also change your reporting metrics on how you consider success of running these marketing campaigns as well, when you're looking at this really tailored segmentation of your databases?
Yeah, it just drives your success rate and your capture rate so much higher, your acquisition rate so much higher, and acquiring that asset at a lower cost. So now I can do it quicker, smarter, more efficient. I don't need necessarily to go out to an OTA and spend 25% on an acquisition fee when I can drive the data, own the data, manipulate the data, and do it myself, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I guess the one thing it saves you on is having to do all the manual entry and manual manipulation of that data as well, right? Which always cause many of us headaches in the marketing world.
Yeah, sure. I mean, how many times are we going to our revenue people and going, I'd really like to see this, and this. And they're like, okay, can you give me 2 days? And you're like, 2 days? That's like an eternity, right? As you're looking at your comp set, going through success, I need data at my fingertips. And I need a tool that has business intelligence and artificial intelligence to take out all the subjective discussion about it and just say, this is where the predictive analysis is in your future. Hotel IQ gives me that at a couple of keystrokes.
And is that different data than you've looked at before, particularly from Hotel IQ, the type of business intelligence it's giving you compared to other systems that help you crunch and manage data?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, a lot of programs are still downloading to Excel spreadsheets with formulas. And my revenue people are developing formulas and spreadsheets, and it's taking hours and hours of labor. When I can go to Hotel IQ in a couple of keystrokes, know what major minor market segment it's coming from, what geo it's coming from, what agency it's coming from, and start really drilling down. The drilling down feature to get to that finite result you want takes 30 seconds. Like it's amazing. You know what I mean? And we've all been in the meetings before with ownership and asset owners that are like, well, what if, and why don't we do this? And in a couple of 4 keystrokes, you're like, well, let me just put it up here and show you why. Let me give you the why. Right.
And that's allowed you to be more responsive, I guess, react more quickly to the marketplace, but also make sure that you're thinking strategically about the decisions that you're making. And I mean, it must be quite helpful right now to see what's happening live in the marketplace rather than wait until the data's sort of historically sort of logged itself, because things are changing minute by minute right now.
So, my whole thing, I owned a business for a long time, and it's all about the entrepreneurship about it, right? And when you own your own business, you look into the future. You understand your year-over-year performance, but you don't dwell in the historical part of it. In the hospitality industry, we tend to dwell on historical data rather than looking forward and making decisions quickly. And that's super, super important. You know what I mean? We've got to make decisions looking into the future. And now more than ever, it's super important. The historical data it's not relevant. What am I going to look at next year? My performance of 2020?
Oh, you don't want to do that.
How can I look at that?
And no one would want to be reminded of that, surely.
Right. I want to run away from that. So now more than ever, we got to go forward, and that's the thing with data reporting today. We're reporting out on all this COVID experience that's going on. All the data that's coming out with RevPAR and occupancy, it's all about year over year. Why are we even looking at that? When really what I want to look at is incremental increases in my occupancy and what those indicators are and how we're getting there. That's all I'm interested in. I'm really not interested in today's data matching it to last year's data at the same time. It means nothing to me.
Now, one of the other things that you are doing is moving to Opera Cloud. So what sort of system are you moving from, and why have you selected Opera Cloud as your choice there?
It just runs faster and cleaner, rather than, and there's a whole back end advantage to that from a cost perspective and a safe environment perspective. I don't have to have it reside on my servers. I don't have to have all these servers on property and a redundancy somewhere else. I let the cloud and the redundancy happen there, and it's just much faster. At the same time, from a sales organization, my people they don't have to go through a VPN to get into a server to look at the data. You're on a plane, you're getting dinged by an asset owner, and here you are, you're stuck in a VPN connection, and you're like, oh my God, right? You're like, well, the Wi-Fi's out for a little while, whatever. But it gives you the data quicker, faster, anywhere you are.
Well, you're definitely a man obsessed by data. I don't know how many times you've mentioned that so far, but I love it. So what's your experience of actually implementation of new products and systems within properties? How do you handle this and make this successful?
Listen, there's a lot of products out there, and wherever you go and wherever you are, you're either being called on new products, you're seeing new products. But you really have to understand what product do you need, right? What are you trying to accomplish? And as a sales leader, you should have a pretty good idea of that. But I like to crowdsource. I like to crowdsource in my environment and say, hey, what do we need? We're all part of this, right? And we have the opportunity, we have some money, we can go out and pick the right software to deliver the right results to the asset owner, because that's why we're here, right? So what is it? And I'll crowdsource on a big collaborative wall. In most of my offices, I'll paint a wall with things you can draw. And for a couple of weeks, I'll say, what software do we need? What do we need? And so I collaborate and crowdsource and get those ideas back, so that initially I have a buy-in from the culture. And we kind of narrow it down and we discuss it, and they're part of the decision-making process. So when I put it in, there's ownership to it. They want to learn it. They want to use it. They want to go forward to it. Now, you always have outliers and you always have early adopters. You just somehow have to bring them all together, in your environment to launch the software best way you can. Otherwise, they use it at 50% of its capacity, and you're the only one looking at it. So.
And is it, when you come to procure technology, then if it's a collaborative effort, you've got your whole team looking out there for the systems that are going to help answer the problems, to the find the solutions to the problems. I'll find the right words at some point. They're helping you source these and procure them. And what other ways do you go to find tools?
Yeah, listen, on most of these resorts I'm working at, my teams are pretty large. They're pretty good sized team, and I have people working in it every day. Who better understands the business? In my position, the farther you get up, the less transactions you're involved with every day. It's just the way it is, right? And so why not go to the source, the people who are doing the transactions every day, to help you with it? They're smart. You got to develop the culture where they can come in and challenge you. Like, that piece of software, it's not working. It doesn't work. Like, I welcome that every day. I don't, that's not a personal thing for me. I'm just trying to get the best software and the best people in the right seat to really accomplish the goals we're trying to accomplish, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. And obviously there's a lot of new systems coming out, a lot of merging technologies. What technology are you looking at next? And what are you keeping your eyes on as a potential new member to your tech stack?
Really, it's in the digital space, it's in the social space, and it's how can I really dashboard my social environment to really give me the measurement on acquiring client assets, right? And so I don't have to look at all these different metrics. I can put it right in front of me to understand at what percentage I'm acquiring, because at what cost. Because that's the name of the game. If I can minimize my cost on acquisition, I win, and I go after that every day. How to minimize that cost, right? We've been in an environment where we've gone out to providers that are charging, 20, 25% of the booking cost. When you're doing 150, 200,000 room nights, that percentage starts to build up.
Yeah, and I guess you've got to find a way to, as you say, make it more efficient, streamlined, but also more profitable for you. So you're reducing these costs.
Yeah.
Robert, thank you ever so much for taking the time to talk to us today and run through different technologies and systems, and particularly how you're using data to improve the performance of your properties, and particularly the last three, Hamilton, Pelican, and now Turtle Bay Resort. It's been really fascinating. So thank you very much. It sounds like you're an incredibly busy man, and you've got people waiting for you there. And I don't blame you since you run such a large resort. But thank you again for joining us.
Ryan, thank you for your time.
Well, that was Robert Marusi, the Chief Commercial Officer for Turtle Bay Resort. What incredible insight there into how he uses data. If you want to check out some of those systems, check out our blogs on travelmarket.life, where you can find out about Salesforce Cloud, Opera Cloud, Hotel IQ, and many of the others that we have also talked about during the Hotelier's Voice series. Thanks for listening. Check out the series on travelmarket.life. Speak to you soon. Ciao for now.